Thanks for this one pager.
Yep.
Are we good with the split screen cam?
Real quick. I'm just gonna be looking at the stream, but like I'm in the race or whatever. Do I need to pay attention to anything that y'all are sharing or no?
You can. I always think it's a good idea to like look at Cam's stream because that's what the viewers are seeing.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've got. Do you have two monitors that you can look at?
No, I just have one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you can kind of, if you want to, you can kind of like. I don't know if you have the ability to like switch back and forth between them.
Yeah, like I can click the iRacing button and I can see like I'm in here, and then I click it and then I can click the stream. I just don't want to hear myself echoing.
Yeah, no, I got you.
You're good?
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, Casey, I would say, what you're comfortable with. If you can switch back and forth, I think that's cool. But that's what I try to do. I try to keep an eye. Like I focus in on like crashes.
I just realized our video name was not changed. That's my bad. Shit.
Oh, do you have to wait to change it?
Actually, no. Tom, did I change it? I might not have changed it, honestly. No, I didn't change it. I can actually go in. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We got time here. Yeah, it's on me. That's all on me. It won't make a huge. It's not that big of a deal, but I might be able to change the name here.
I'll bet it'll update after. And if it does, it's not a big deal.
Right, I did update it, so
Sweet.
Casey, when would you ideally like to get involved in the sense, do you want to be involved in the stories at all, the points? Like where ideally would you like me to Chris and I try to kind of plug you in and get you in on the action? So
I tried to process this through my head earlier in the day. Like I had it in my mind kind of like bringing up like the final playoff spot between Michael Cole and Bradley Minor, how it's only 2 points separated. I have to look at my notes. Hold on, let me see here. A couple of drivers making their debut.
Hey, I think our mics are hot, by the way, Cam.
No, like hot as in like we're live. Is that what you're saying, Chris?
Yeah, our mics are open.
If it's Thursday, it's time for NSRLA. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the Slingshot TV booth by Chris Smith, Cam Gillens, and Casey Bristow. And tonight, we're bringing you race number 12 of the Downtown Auto Sales National Series live from Darlington. Dubbed the track too tough to tame, Darlington Speedway lives up to its fearsome reputation. This iconic circuit is a relentless challenge. It's an unforgiving battlefield where the slightest of misjudgments can exact a steep toll. Errors here occur in the blink of an eye, and their consequences are severe. Even the seasoned drivers who navigate this 1.366-mile circuit unscathed usually carry that Darlington Stripe as a badge of honor, a testament to their close encounters with those unforgiving walls. It's a proving ground like no other. What sets Darlington apart is its unique egg-shaped design, a masterful engineering feat that gracefully accommodated the constraints of a highway to the north and a pond to the southwest. This track is a true testament to the marriage of innovation and tradition. Darlington has been an integral part of the NASCAR Premier Series since its inauguration back in 1950. Back then, it was one of just two paved ovals in NASCAR, and the only one exceeding half a mile in length. Darlington was, in essence, the birthplace of the super speedway concept for stock car racing. Prior to the legendary Daytona 500 back in 1959, the Southern 500 reigned supreme as the most prestigious and lucrative race on the Premier Series calendar. Its history is rich with legendary moments, none more captivating than that unforgettable 2003 showdown when Kurt Busch clinched a victory by a mere 2/1000ths of a second, etching a defining chapter in Darlington's history. Chris, the original grandstands, back from 1958, they're still in use today. Not much has really changed about this track since the beginning. It was a challenge then, and it's just as much, if not one more of those challenges today for these drivers. What are they going to have to do for 150 laps to make it to the end of the longest race of our season and the final race of the regular season?
Well, she's known as the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame, the Darlington Stripe. With nicknames like this, you know the track is revered by the competitors and fans alike. Tonight, these NSRLA drivers have 150 laps around the Lady in Black, 60% of the fuel, so about 35 laps in their tank with 4 sets of tires in the pits. Stage breaks at lap 40 and lap 80. And Ellis, it's a cutoff race. There's a lot on the line for these Downtown Auto Sales National Series drivers tonight. Some are going to see their chances for a championship disappear at the end of the night. We're going to find out who it is next.
Well, that cutoff is one of the stories that we're going to be following, and we're also going to hear from our guest commentator in the booth tonight. Some of you might recognize the name, but we'll talk more about that right after it's time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition here at Slingshot TV. Folks, rise and remove those caps if able for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back. Back here in the Slingshot TV studio, moments away from the start of the final race of the regular season for the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales. It's the Southern 200. We've got plenty to talk about. Before we do that, though, we teased it right before the break. We've got a special commentator in the booth tonight with us. It's none other than NSRLA media man Casey Bristow, who we're used to seeing on the track. Casey, welcome. We're glad you could join us tonight.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I don't know if I'm more nervous in the car or in the booth tonight, but this is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, you're going to do great. Let's go ahead and talk about the big story that we're going to be following tonight. It's the point standings tonight. The toughest track on the schedule, arguably, is the only track left for a lot of drivers to race their way into the playoffs. After tonight, the top 12 drivers in points will make it into a 6-race playoff, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But Casey, you can see the drivers who are close. It's Michael Cole, the final car in, and Bradley Minor is the first car out. Talk to us about what it's going to take for these drivers and what the mentality is for a lot of these drivers who are potentially trying to race their way into a chance at a championship.
Well, first you got to ask yourself, what does it take to be a champion? Champions pay the price. So between Michael Cole and Bradley Minor, what price are they willing to pay? They're separated by 2 points, and they're both very aggressive drivers. So you got to ask yourself, who is willing to make that call in the pits to maybe take 2 tires instead of 4 or none? Who's willing to make the pass in the turns that might be risky or dangerous? And, we're going to find out here in 150 laps. So just hang tight, and it's going to be a wild one.
Casey, I'm looking forward to hearing a lot more of those insights. You know these drivers in many cases better than we do, so it's going to be interesting, a new beat to have along throughout the night. I know the fans will be looking forward to hearing more of that as we get underway here in just a little bit. And with that, let's talk about some of the stories that we're going to be keeping an eye on over the course of these 150 laps tonight. First one, tire management. It seems like we say that every week, Chris, but I feel like it means more tonight at Darlington than it does most other nights.
Yeah, it definitely does, and especially in these Xfinity or these O'Reilly Auto Parts cars. These cars right here, it seems like they definitely are more prone to wearing the tires than maybe some of their other stock car counterparts. So yeah, that's something that we're going to have our eyes on tonight. And these drivers, they're going to have to baby these tires over the course of 150 laps here tonight.
They're going to have to baby those tires, and they're going to have to be careful as they're babying those tires not to let it slide up into the wall on the exit of some of these corners. The Darlington Stripe is notorious here, Chris, for giving drivers headaches after headaches. Sometimes, though, they can get away with it. What is the Darlington Stripe for the uninitiated fan watching at home for the first time tonight?
Yeah, the Darlington Stripe is just putting your right side up against that wall right here that has bitten so many competitors here at Darlington. To be fast here, you really need to run high, especially in turns 1 and 2. You kind of got some options in turns 3 and 4, but in 1 and 2, if you want to be fast, you got to put the right side up on the boards and get it as close to that wall as you can and cut down the hill. And so, yeah, it's a risk versus reward type of deal. What are drivers going to be willing to do? How close are they going to be willing to run to that wall over the course of the race tonight?
It's going to be a good one to watch. Also, Chris, pit road entry is going to be, you and I both know this all too well. Pit road entry, incredibly difficult. It's maybe the most unique pit road on the schedule. What makes it so difficult, and why does it come up on drivers so fast?
Just because you really need to start thinking about making that turn down onto pit road very, very early in turn 3. It's a very abrupt turn. There's a lot of apron here at Darlington, where you've got plenty of room to go down there, but it's a very sharp turn from the banking down the hill, and so there's a lot of different approaches, and mark my words, Ellis, somebody is going to miss pit road tonight if we have green flag pit stops. It never fails here at Darlington.
And lastly, we kind of talked about that points bubble is something we're going to be following all night long. We'll try to keep fans at home updated on who their favorite drivers are, how close they are to that bubble. Keep an eye on that all night long, folks. I think qualifying has just come to an end here, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, which means it's just about time to send this thing down trackside to see where these drivers are going to be starting tonight in the final regular season race here at Darlington. And Chris, I'm going to let you start this one. I'll take 11th through the rest of the field because I'm just getting back into iRacing after a little bit of a crash.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup here as cars are starting to grid up here on pit road. And as these drivers right here in the final regular season race, getting themselves all set and ready to go. Starting on the pole, a familiar name here on Slingshot Racing Media, Slingshot TV. It is Jacob Cochran starting first tonight in that number 8 car. That throwback on that downtown auto sales car. It's a little bit of a Wood Brothers throwback, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's that Glenwood throwback. That's a nice looking paint scheme. And on his outside, you got Donnie Honeycutt in the number 22. Donnie been fast all season. We'll see what kind of speed he has here tonight. Starting on the inside of row number 2 in the 3rd position, this is another familiar name here on Slingshot TV. Johnny Rapp making a guest appearance here in the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales National Series. He's going to roll off 3rd. And on his outside, Adam Pettit. Adam's new here to the series, but he's had a lot of speed in the few weeks that he has been here. Starting in the 5th position, we've got Jerry Salinas. A great qualifying run for Jerry tonight in the number 63 car. And on his outside, Bradley Miner, one of those bubble drivers that we're going to have our eyes on. Starting in the 7th position is Tyler Gibbon, who has not gridded yet, but he's still got a few more seconds before we roll off right here. I think this is his first appearance, and there he is right there, the number 4 Ford Mustang. And on his outside, Travis Bieber in the number 23. Brock Whiteman is going to roll off 9th in the number 41 car. And Brandon Vees, another driver that we're going to have our eyes on tonight. We believe that Brandon is a win and get in driver. Like, we think that he must win tonight to secure his position.
He's going to be one we're keeping an eye on. Dustin Lewis, who's had some fast runs in recent weeks. We've got some Dustin Lewis fans in the chat. He's starting on the inside of row number 6 in that number 33 machine. Corey Rao making his debut in the 00 tonight. Starts 12th. Christian Barnes, tough couple of weeks. About a month ago, but he's gotten it back on track. That number 27 starting 13th tonight. Mark Cofield, rough outing last week after having a fast car. He comes from 14th. Stephen Gill in the number 5 car starts 15th. Series director Andy Berry starting 16th in that number 21. Meanwhile, Ryan Bittler in the 9 will start 17th. And starting tail end of the field is the guy wearing our heart rate monitor tonight, Chris, and he's already up to 113. He can definitely feel the excitement creeping in right now.
Yeah, he's got to be nervous, and, he's got points on the line as, tonight, and, that he's going to be keyed up. So, yeah, Michael Cole is a driver to definitely keep our eyes on tonight, starting shotgun on the field.
It's going to be exciting. Casey, talk to us about, you've been in these races before the green flag. What's the mood like inside the cockpit right now for one of these drivers?
Well, if I'm Michael Cole or Bradley Miner, my nerves are probably shot. But if I'm a guy that's locked into the playoffs, my mind is, I'm more relaxed. I have nothing to lose, so it's a time for experimentation and whatnot. But ultimately, my mindset would be, let's go win a race.
All right, well, they're getting ready to do it. It's Jacob Cochran and Donnie Honeycutt. They got the best seat in the house. They're going to be the first ones to see the green flag wave here in just a moment as they come down onto the front straightaway for the start of the Southern 200. It's the final regular season race here for the Downtown Auto Sales Series, and they are off like a bolt of lightning down into turn number 1. They enter low, they slide up. Jacob Cochran, the leader, but meanwhile, Johnny Rapp has moved quickly into second place. Newcomer Johnny Rapp as they slingshot down the backstretch.
Yeah, he's putting some pressure right here on Jacob Cochran. Some drivers a little bit further back made some contact with the outside wall in turn 2, already getting their Darlington Stripes right here. You see them a little bit lower here in 3 and 4. They got some options down there, Ellis, and that's something we're going to talk about all night with the racing lines as we look back a little bit further right here. That's Brock Whiteman, Tyler Gibbon, and Dustin Lewis in the 7th, 8th, and 9th positions.
Oh, boy, one car in the wall. That might have been the 5 of Stephen Gill with Mark Cofield right in front of him. A bit of a stack up a little bit further back through the pack. They've gotten it settled out right now. You can see Michael Cole fan out, and that heart rate, top right of the screen, up to 124 beats per minute in that number 43 machine, folks. I know we talk about it being a simulation, but these drivers, they're getting a workout tonight at one of the toughest tracks on the circuit. Jacob Cochran continues to lead as he climbs the banking through turns 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Johnny Rapp slowly closing in, about 3 car lengths back now from Rapp, who's already up a spot after starting 3rd.
Yeah, you got a good start right here off the line. Johnny is really good here. He's really good at saving tires, and we know Jacob Cochran is really good at saving tires too. So this might be an interesting battle to watch here over the course of this race to see how these drivers compare. Donnie Honeycutt as well, also keeping these guys in sight right here in the third position. Top three running very similar lap times right here, kind of tightening up a little bit right here off of turn 2.
It's now Cochran with a single car length lead over a quickly closing Johnny Rapp. He's got series points leader Donnie Honeycutt about 3 car lengths off of his back bumper, as all 3 leaders are within a second of each other as they cross the line here to come to lap number 5 at Darlington. Tight race so far, but all drivers are single file. Casey, I want to ask you, the mood at the start of these races, we talked about just drivers wanting to win, but this is kind of unusual in the sense that drivers are kind of giving each other a lot of space right now. Talk to us. Are you used to that from these drivers? Or they know what the challenge that kind of lies in front of them tonight at Darlington is? Is that why they're taking it so easy?
Yeah, I'd say so. They got to really negotiate the track tonight. And, being 6 laps in, it's way too early to do anything risky. And one mistake is all it'll take for your race to be ruined. The car will whip right around and you're done. So patience is what you're going to have to deal with here.
Patience is a virtue, as they say. And right now, Johnny Rapp up the front of the pack. That white and teal Whiplash SimCams machine is having to exercise patience as he lies in wait behind that black and red throwback scheme of Johnny Rapp. And guys, that's something we didn't even mention as one of our stories, but we've got a few throwback paint schemes to look out for in the field tonight, with Jacob Cochran kind of being the lead car right now. And I don't want to put anyone on the spot, because I don't know, but what throwback paint scheme do we have on board that number 8 tonight? I'll let anyone chime in.
I believe that is a Glen Wood Brothers paint scheme, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it is up there, up above the number 8 on the door. So yeah, that's a really, and Jacob always does a really good job, like incorporating the Downtown Auto Sales logos into his paint schemes. He runs throwbacks often, and yeah, he does a really good job with that, and yeah, that car looks really, really good. Very creative with the logos right there on the sides, right up above the tires.
It is a good-looking scheme. And, hey, someone who's got a good-looking race going on right now, I want to direct us over to the number 65 machine, running 6th place right now. That is Brandon Vees in that number 65 Aflac machine. Currently running in 6th, and he's up 4 spots. He's the biggest mover of the race so far, and that's just a driver, guys, that has been coming on week after week, and so much market improvement as the season has kind of gone on from where we started earlier this season at Daytona. Really, just as that driver has impressed me. Casey, I know you've had the pleasure of running with the number 65 of Brandon. Talk to us about that growth that you've seen on his part.
Yeah, Brandon, he's a phenomenal driver. He has a lot of speed. He's had some unfortunate races here the past few weeks, but, trouble. We got trouble on the backstretch.
Trouble on the backstretch here. Caution is going to not come out so far. That is Andy Berry, and I believe that is the 00. There is the caution. Corey Rao and Andy Berry, the 21 and the 00, have gone around, and Chris, walk us through what happened.
Michael Cole was involved in this crash right here. Yeah, we're going to see right here what happened. I believe Corey Rao is going to make contact with the wall off of turn 2. Just classic Darlington incident right here. Car got tight, pushed up the hill. Yeah, and you see Michael Cole involved. Don't know how significant the damage is to the 43 machine. A lot of damage to Andy Berry, it looks like right here, and Corey Rao. But that is a very, very tough break for Michael Cole, who came into this race, Ellis, as one of these playoff drivers, came in just 2 points above the cut line.
And he is going to have to come down for pit road repairs. But we got another driver. Big story developing here, Chris. Jacob Cochran, the leader, giving up track position right now on just lap number 11. He's got, I believe, Dustin Lewis, kind of the next car, several car lengths back. Interesting strategy here, Chris. What might be afoot here for leaders like Jacob Cochran?
Well, the drivers, if it went green to the end of the stage, they were not going to be able to make it based on the numbers that we got. About 35 or 36 laps on a tank of fuel. The first stage is 40 laps. They were not going to be able to make it. So with this caution, I believe everybody should be able to make it. It looks like several drivers here, Ellis, are taking fuel only. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right here. I'm seeing a lot of fuel only stops here on pit road. They must have felt like it wasn't worth the gamble. I think it's going to be really close for these drivers who stayed out, whether or not they can make it to the end of the stage or not.
Well, it is an interesting development. I think I like the call. You know, I'm not the one to ask about pit strategy, but I like the call to come in and get gas now. We'll see if that pays dividends here in a little bit. Hey, want to say hi to all the fans watching at home right now. I know it's kind of been an action-packed start to this race, but we are enjoying hearing all the comments right now coming in. We got Tony Leonard in the chat. He's saying he's here for the commentators, man. I appreciate that. Julie, my mother-in-law, is watching in the chat. Appreciate you. Michael Cole in the chat a little bit earlier. I think he's probably not as in a good mood as he was earlier in the race. We got a lot of the Dustin Lewis crew has showed up tonight. We got Chad CR 932. Got Water Force Gaming here. Lost Forgotten also rooting for Dustin Lewis. Renee's back. Appreciate you. Love seeing Renee here every week, folks. It is going to be an exciting night. We are giving away a NASCAR Panini trading card pack. And you know, it's not just a pack of trading cards. We're cracking up a new box tonight, and I can guarantee that there's a 1 in 5 shot at a driver autograph or a memorabilia card in that pack of cards. So keep those comments coming. It could win you a pack of Panini NASCAR trading cards. We'll choose one lucky fan at the end of the race to send that pack of trading cards to. So make sure you stick around. Thank you, Moki. Appreciate you tuning in as they work their way down the backstretch. Casey, you got any advice for these drivers as we get ready to go green after that first caution?
Well, now you know what your car got. Now you know what your car has. So now you just got to make it to the end of the stage, get those stage points, and then just put together a whole race.
They're getting ready to work on that right now. Johnny Rapture leader. He's chosen the outside. Donnie Honeycutt second. Johnny's going to be the throttle man here, waiting to get into that restart zone. He mashes that throttle about halfway through, and look, he clears the rest of the field by about 3 or 4 car lengths. Rap so good here on the restarts. Moves into the lead. Donnie Honeycutt second, but Chris, the race is on behind. Turn 1 and 2 getting hairy right now.
Yeah, it is. You got Brock Whiteman, Bradley Minor right there. Back behind them, you got Tyler Gibbon, Jacob Cochran. Jacob trying to come back up through the field after that pit stop for fuel only. Looking underneath, Jerry Salinas down into turn 3. Look at the left sides down on the apron right there. We're going to see that often tonight.
That is so difficult as Salinas has to hold a pretty wheel, and both drivers live to tell the tale about going side by side down through turns 3 and 4. But Chris, I think it was a wise call right there. Turn 1 and 2 is a no-fly zone for 2 wide racing here at Darlington.
It is, yeah. 1 and 2, you really have to be single file through there. You know, there's one fast lane, and we saw what happened earlier to the 00 Corey Rao. You saw what happened to him as he got offline a little bit and up the track. You don't want that to happen. You really need to be running the single line fast lane. Now, in turns 3 and 4, you have some options. You can kind of be high, you can kind of be low. And that's something we'll watch all night tonight. Which drivers are able or willing to give up the position into turn 1 over fears of running side by side through 1 and 2?
It is already wild here on lap 116 of 150, riding on board with Brock Whiteman. That currently is a battle for the 3rd position. Whiteman's hands all over the place, and you can see just how difficult it is here.
I'm sorry, we had trouble back behind them. That was Jacob Cochran, and I believe that was Bradley Minor, one of our playoff drivers.
Hit a wall again.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually key this up right here so that we can go back and see what happened. You can see Jacob Cochran has a lot of right front damage. That's why I kind of hollered there, Ellis, because it was. I'm surprised they didn't crash off the corner. It looked like it would be a crash. Cam, I have that incident if we would like to go side by side right here. Jacob Cochran in the number 8 down here on the inside, coming off turn 4. Bradley Minor up high. And yeah, Bradley Minor got a little bit loose off of 4, came down into the right rear and hooked Jacob Cochran into the wall. Some pretty significant damage to that number 8 machine. He went down in this corner and hit the wall again. I think Bradley Minor might have a little bit of damage also to his 46, but it's not as significant, I don't believe, as the number 8.
Now, is this music to Michael Cole's ears as he sees his playoff chances kind of slipping away, but now he's maybe seeing a little bit of hope?
Yeah, that's definitely what he needed. I mean, you don't wish ill will on your competitors at all, but I believe that, with the damage that we got a trouble on the backstretch. That was Mark Cofield getting hooked into the wall. Cofield is still in the wall.
Big trouble for the 97 through both sets of corners here at Darlington, and that seems to be the theme of the night. Struggle in one corner, and it's going to repeat itself, deja vu, in the next corner. We've seen that happen for a handful of drivers here over the last 3 or 4 laps, and Chris and Casey, I'll throw it to either one of you. This speaks to just how much rhythm matters here at a track like Darlington, and you have to stay in sync and remember what corner you're in and not lose focus.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is more of a rhythm racetrack than any other track probably on any type of NASCAR circuit, and Casey can probably speak to that as well. I mean, you can get in a groove here, but one slip will cause you to really lose your focus and fall back and definitely lose some time.
Yeah, 100%. Darlington's just one of those tracks where it's going to magnify every decision you make, and then it's going to magnify every mistake you make. And unfortunately, this mistake by Mark Cofield is being very magnetized.
Oh, mistakes abounding. Brandon Vies and Brock Whiteman, you saw it live. Double file into turn 1, which teacher Chris and I put on our class rules no-go list before tonight started, and we saw a couple drivers do it early, and they had trouble, and it just repeated itself there. The 41 and the 65 side-by-side in turn 1. Bad idea, and I don't think we've seen the last of that tonight, guys.
Yeah, I don't think so either, and I think we'll definitely see more of it over the course of the night. I think that another thing to keep in mind, Ellis, this might be a significant story tonight, is Jacob Cochran hits the wall. I think the damage on the 8 is significant. I think that you'll probably see an extended pit stop right here at the stage break to get that damage fixed as we ride on board with Brandon Vies right now in the 3rd position. I think that we're gonna have to watch the apron here at Darlington. The crashes that happen here, since there is a very, very small racing line or racing groove here, there's a lot of apron for crashes to go down low, and so sometimes when people spin or crash, it might not draw a caution immediately because of that, because there is so much room right here for them to get back going again.
Now, we got 2 side-by-side battles going here. We're going to see if history repeats itself as drivers. It looks like we're following Dustin Lewis and Brandon Vies up ahead are going to go double file into the corner. Vies into the wall right in front of this battle. Goes underneath is Dustin Lewis and that number 33, but Vies might try to fight back. That was ill-advised for the young driver Brandon Vies, but they lived through that one. He's now got the 4 underneath him. Tyler Gebbin, in his debut, works his way all the way up to the top 5. Gebbin making the maneuver underneath the ailing 65 of Vies, and Adam Pettit also looking to go underneath the number 65 car. Several drivers smelling blood in the water as they work their way through turns 1 and 2 right now, and there is that element of rhythm, oh so important, and when you lose it, you got to be concerned about dropping like a rock. Right now, up front, Johnny Rapp, newcomer here to NSRLA, a familiar face if you're a Slingshot TV regular viewer. Producer Johnny and caller on Monday nights and late model shows as well. Having a good run so far. Has run the fastest laps of the night, at least from up front. Donnie Honeycutt, your series points leader, is in second. Chris, but this is a dominant performance. You had to see how far Cam had to pan the camera back there.
Yeah, we've got Brandon Vies in the wall right there off of turn 2 right there. One thing, and Casey, you can feel free to chime in right here. I'll kind of lead you into this. I think that these drivers here tonight, I think that you do not want to be side-by-side on the exit of turn 2. In your experience here at Darlington, side-by-side on the exit of 2, is that sort of like a no-go zone off that corner?
Yeah, I'd say so, because one mistake and you're on the inside wall. And as you were saying earlier, there's not always going to be a caution if you're on the inside of the backstretch. It's just something that could ruin your whole entire race. Just got to pick and choose.
Right now, Brock Whiteman picking and choosing if he's going to move to the front, and he looks like he's got a car where he can really pick and choose where he runs, and there's the number 8 and the number 65, two cars who've struggled over the last 10 or 15 laps, coming into contact with each other, a mingling of fates, if you will, between those two cars. A little bit of damage on the right sides of both of those, battle-scarred as they work their way through the corners. Jacob Cochran, Chris, you mentioned it, he is a championship favorite. I would say a handful of drivers that you look at as really obvious choices that could have a chance to win that championship based on how their seasons have gone, and he's definitely one of them. He's going to come get some pit road repairs, but look at Adam Pettit there. 6th place for Adam Pettit in just 4 races in the NSRLA series. He's really impressed us, Chris.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's had speed every single week. I think back to the race that I ran at Charlotte with him, and that was his first race with these guys. And I was like, who the heck is this guy right here? Because, I mean, he was very, very fast that night and very impressive. And I'm not surprised at all to see him carry that speed forward and running really well right now here in the 6th position. Under some pressure right now from Christian Barnes, who has a little bit of a new look on that number 27. And up ahead of them, there's a battle going on for 3rd between Brock Whiteman and Dustin Lewis. They're side by side at 3 and 4.
They wind their way through the exit of that tight corner. Brock Whiteman, that yellow and green machine, he's on the outside trying to hold off a hard-charging Dustin Lewis, who's got a whole crowd of fans cheering for him in the chat right now. Lewis slides up the track just a little bit. It's going to lose a little bit of ground on Brock Whiteman on the center off, but it looks like the run actually is on the 33 as they come off the corner. Lewis seeing if he can't set up a pass on the 41. He's going to have to wait at least one more lap. Both of you guys, how difficult is it to set up that pass at Darlington? I think that's really the number one thing that's always on my mind as a driver, is knowing that you really got to be thinking ahead as we watch that battle behind them of Adam Pettit and Christian Barnes tightening up as well.
Yeah, I don't know about Casey, but I like to I like to set it up through turns 3 and 4. Like I like to be able to get side by side in 3 and 4 and kind of put that driver in a position where they have to lift into 1, since that is 1 and 2 is so difficult to run side by side. Casey, what's your mentality? Trying to set up a pass here.
I guess it just depends on the day and who I'm racing against. Typically, I like to pass them on the straights. That way I don't have to worry about the consequences of things going bad in the turns. But, sometimes I'll run them up there. They got brakes. So, but yeah, I mean, if I want to get by them cleanly, I'll try to get them on the front stretch or back stretch and just leave the passing to people in the turns to someone else. I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, and Ellis right here, as we watch this battle side by side, what Dustin Lewis really wants to do here is be side by side. He just doesn't get the run off the corner. He wants to stay side by side down this straightaway to be able to maintain position. Now, this is going to be hard running side by side through here, and you see the 4 hit the wall.
Ooh. High, wide, and handsome for Tyler Gibbon. Newcomer here, putting on quite the show, but struggling here as this run, as stage number 1 winds its way into the closing portion. 2 drivers come down pit road. That's Whiteman as well as Pettit. And you saw how early that pit road was. That wasn't a mistake they made. That's where pit road begins.
Yeah, they're coming down pit road right here. Adam Pettit and Brock Whiteman. Also, Brandon V's behind them as well. Those drivers did not pit. So, Ellis, I think this might confirm that these drivers cannot make it to the end of the stage if they're coming to pit road already. We'll see what Johnny Rapp does here. Johnny has got a pretty significant lead, about a 2-second lead on Donnie Honeycutt. He's not coming to pit road this time. Neither is Donnie Honeycutt, Dustin Lewis. Dustin Lewis is actually going to be good on fuel. We're going to be really watching these top 2 right here to see what they do.
Yeah, Bradley Minor also coming down pit road here, but you can see it right now. Honeycutt running, he's gaining a little bit on Johnny Rapp. That car seems to be faster on the long run. That black and white number 22 Callaway Golf machine. Points leader Donnie Honeycutt, who's been oh so consistent this season.
I can confirm, Ellis, that Johnny Rapp is in hard save fuel mode right here. He is clutching this baby in the corners. I'm riding on board right with him right here, and he has that thing. He's clutching it on both ends. He kind of tagged the wall right there because, Ellis, when you are clutching it, it does get you out of your rhythm. And so he is doing everything he can to try to make it to the end of the stage on this tank of fuel.
And he's got just 2 laps left when they get to the line. How much he's got left in that tank, though, is unclear because the 22 and the 33 of Dustin Lewis hot on his heels. 2 laps left, and let's talk about the stage and why it's important. Top 10 finishers receive points for stage number 1 and stage number 2, and those do count towards their championship campaigns. So drivers on the bubble especially, those points are absolutely important and critical. And Johnny looks like he's coming to pit road, or is he at least going to let those drivers by? He looks like he's going to let those drivers by. Christian Barnes and Gebben going to make their way by as well. It's not going to be pit road this time, Chris. Looks like Johnny might be willing just to give up that track position to not have to pit under the green flag before this caution comes out in just 1 lap. The white flag is out here on stage number 1. The battle is on between Donnie Honeycutt and Dustin Lewis. I know the Lewis fans are cheering in the chat right now. Dustin's going to have a shot on this. Takes it 3 wide behind the 46 of Bradley Minor. Dustin Lewis wants to pick up the stage win here as they come to the checkered flag to finish stage 1 of the Southern 200. Dustin Lewis is going to win it. Donnie Honeycutt's maybe going to be second, but Christian Barnes almost had something to say about it. The top 10 going to cross the line, and that caution flag will wave in just a moment for the conclusion of stage number 1. Waiting on the race director here to throw that caution potentially any minute. Maybe. Am I wrong? There's Johnny Rapp on pit road.
They could be coming out now.
The big moment across the line.
Big moment here, folks. Johnny Rapp has come down pit road, and I don't know if that pit road light had come on yet.
No, he could not make it. He ran out of fuel about a half a lap ago. I was riding on board with him, and he could not make it to the end of this stage. So, just, a little bit of fuel game going on. I think that Donnie Honeycutt also ran out of fuel. He's on pit road as well.
Big storylines developing. Drivers playing roulette with their fuel tanks. Some of them ended up winning. Some of them ended up on the losing side. You're looking at one of them there. That's the 22 of Donnie Honeycutt. And him and race leader Johnny Rapp, who's been the dominant car. Chris, these are the 2 best cars all night, guys, that have made maybe costly mistakes when it comes to those fuel games that they were playing. We're about to get our first set of caution flag pit stops to reset the running order, but boy, mistakes early here in Darlington, a place that you can't make a mistake, more so than most other tracks. Dustin Lewis going to lead him down pit road. First car down pit road to receive service. Looks like it's going to be Dustin Lewis. You can see several other cars back there, but it's going to be a battle off pit road. You can see it, Dustin Lewis, Christian Barnes. This isn't easy. Sure, the pit crews can't be controlled by the driver, but they can control where they get into their spot, if they slide over the line or not, and it looks like both those leaders got in just fine.
Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah, great stops for them right here. This is definitely going to shake up the running order right here, and this is going to present some opportunities for some drivers who, maybe we haven't seen visit victory lane this season. Christian Barnes was a great pit stop. He's actually going to beat the number 33 car of Dustin Lewis off of pit road. Tyler Gebben's going to come off third, it looks like. So this is definitely going to shake up the running order, Ellis.
It's going to be a great shakeup. And, folks, let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun. If you're watching at home, we're going to play a little bit of trivia here. Remember, we're giving away that free pack of Panini NASCAR trading cards. 1 in 5 shot. It's going to have an driver autograph or memorabilia card inside it. We'll send it to you absolutely free. Keep these chats coming. We want to know your answers to this trivia question. We'll start off easy because I kind of gave this answer in the opener. But let's go ahead and see if you know it. Darlington's iconic egg shape exists because the track had to be built around what specific obstacle? Is it a family cemetery? Is it a minnow pond? Or is it a granite boulder? You can see that question and the answer choices on the right side of the screen. Folks, let us know what letter you think is the correct answer. Type it in the chat. Take a guess. Just have a little bit of fun here, and we're going to see what the correct answer here is. You're going to learn a little bit. Chris and I are both teachers. We love to incorporate that into the broadcast. If we can make y'all a little bit smarter, maybe smarter than us, we we'll
see if they were
doing
listening.
our jobs. Yeah, we'll see who was paying attention at the beginning of this. And did I actually take that question away? Did I? I might have actually moved it away. Let's see. Hold on real quick. We're going to launch it again. My apologies. That question should be up now. But, yeah, let us know what you think the correct answer is. Is it the cemetery, the minnow pond, or the granite boulder? What is the reason Darlington had to be built into an egg shape? Keep those comments coming in the chat. We want to know if you were paying attention at the start of this race. Hey, Christian Barnes has been paying attention because he has moved up 13 spots, 12 spots, starting 13th, lucky number 13 on the night. Boy, that's not easy here at Darlington.
It isn't, and man, we have got one strange lineup right here.
Waving off the green.
Yeah, good call right there, Casey. The race control making a great decision right there to wave off the green right here. Try to get these drivers kind of back up together. A lot of drivers, I think, took the wave around right there. So maybe a little bit of confusion about where they're supposed to line up. So this might be a little bit of a strange looking restart right here as we get lined back up right here and prepared to restart this thing. Pace Truck's going to come and pick the field back up, Ellis, and this might be a situation where we only see maybe one car starting on the outside.
Oh boy, that's a lonely feeling potentially for Tyler Gebbin in that number 4. Try to get things sorted back in order here at Darlington. It's been a kind of a wild night under the lights, and that's continuing under caution with a little bit of a shakeup in the running order based on when that caution came out in the pit cycle. And right now, looks like we're getting stacked back up. I think the lights are off on the pace truck, so this should be the lap we go green. Folks, if you haven't put in a guess for why Darlington had to be built in an egg shape, you can see that question on the right. We're going to give you another lap or two to do so, but right now we're going to key in on this battle for the lead that's getting ready to transpire here on the restart. Coming to lap number 46, Christian Barnes, your restart leader. Tyler Gebbin, the lone car on the outside. Everyone looks like they're going to get away cleanly. Will Gebbin be able to take advantage of that hole that's open right in front of Dustin Lewis? The answer to that question does seem to be yes. The black number 4 slides into second right in front of Dustin Lewis. Third place, now fourth place, Ryan Bittler, his highest position of the race so far. Bittler just faster and faster and faster each week. He's got that STP number 40, that STP number 9 right in front of Brock Whiteman there. That 9 looking pretty fast so far, guys.
Yeah, he definitely is right here as he's closing up on the rear bumper of Dustin Lewis. Got Brock Whiteman back behind him. Whiteman is in that Chad Little, that John Deere throwback right there. It's a very, very iconic paint scheme right there. Oh, yeah, Bittler sideways off the corner does a great job of hanging on to it, but that's going to enable Whiteman to get by, and now Jacob Cochran's going to try to follow suit.
Do you think Jacob Cochran, that car that was involved in a little bit of contact in that first stage, we know he stayed on pit road for a long period of time to get the repairs. Chris, does that car look like it's got things sorted out right now as he runs in the 5th position?
Yeah, he definitely looks a lot faster here on this restart. And just looking at the time that he spent on pit road, he was in his stall for 42 seconds. So I would say he got a lot of that damage fixed as we got a battle for the the second position between Tyler Gebbin and Dustin Lewis.
Move Dustin Lewis up to second place. He had to wait 3 laps to get it done. Well, Brock Whiteman off of turn number 4. Almost a big moment along with him and Jacob Cochran, but both drivers are able to gather it back up. Good hand award goes to both of those drivers there. It's going to allow Dustin Lewis to pull away from that pack.
Dustin Lewis is loose.
Off of turn number 2. What happened to the number 33, guys?
Man, that was a moment right there, but for Dustin Lewis. We're actually going to go back and see if we could see what happened to Dustin. And Cam, I do have this replay right here if we want to go side by side.
out of 2.
Yeah, if we want to go side by side right here, we can see a little bit of a replay right here.
Look at, sorry. Go ahead.
You see Dustin, he gets it sideways right there, steers back to the right, but he is able to hold on to it.
And you saw while that was going on, also Ryan Bittler grabbed the wall a couple of times. And Chris, things are starting to get hairy here, guys. Lap 50, we're a third of the way through this Southern 200 here for the Downtown Auto Sales Series. We asked you why Darlington had to be built into an egg shape. What obstacle were they trying to avoid? Several of you got that question correct. The correct answer was to avoid a minnow pond. Well, kind of a NASCAR pop culture trivia question. A lot of folks knew the answer to right out the gate. Connor Lyons, we glad you joined us. Good to see you in here tonight. The action continues. You can see that number 41 of Brock Whiteman is right up on the back bumper of the number 4. And maybe these drivers are starting to get it figured out. I don't know. Double file doesn't seem to work well tonight. It feels like every time it's happened, some drivers walked away with either Darlington stripes or far worse.
Speaking of figuring it out, look at that 8 car, Jacob Cochran, all the way up to second, repairing that damage. As somebody who races against Jacob regularly, from the National Series to the Truck Series to the Cup Series, never count him out.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely spot on. I think the answer to our question, rather, had that number 8 gotten the repairs it needed, you're riding on board with him right now, and that's a pretty steady wheel here for a car at Darlington, arcing his way off of turn number 2. I think we have the answer. That damage is repaired, and right now, Chris, he is the fastest car on the track.
He is, and if you look at the battle box right here, you can see right here it's projecting that 4 laps based upon the speed compared between Christian Barnes and Jacob Cochran. It's going to take him just 4 laps. It goes to 6 laps this time, back to 4 right here. Yeah, he is definitely on the move, tracking down Christian Barnes up ahead. Christian Barnes is not going to be an easy pass, though, Ellis. You mentioned it. He has charged up through the field. He started 13th, but technically, Ellis, he started further back than that because he missed the driver's meeting. He had to take an EOL at the beginning of this race, start at the end of the line, and he is up into the lead basically from starting last on the field.
Yeah, I was going to say that Christian Barnes definitely started very far back in the field, even further back than it shows on the stat board, but that battle between Lewis and Whiteman has not dissipated at all. You can see them working their way off of the corner there, turns number 1 and 2, and Dustin Lewis kind of laying in wait. There's falling back to 4th. I'm not sure if Lewis has a little bit of damage. Ryan Bittler right behind them, but Lewis going to try to fight back here on the inside, about a car length off the back bumper of Brock Whiteman as they head down into turn number 1. Folks, it's lap 56. We're over the 1/3 mark here at Darlington, and the lights continue to shine as the sun has gone down, and maybe we got a full moon tonight. It's been a wild one. Look at Dustin Lewis, Chris. You talk about setting up the pass off the corner. He got close to doing it there. I thought he might have the run, but he's going to have to wait at least another lap. Whiteman into the wall with maybe his 2nd or 3rd Darlington stripe tonight. He's got to be careful to keep it off that wall on the exit of turn number 4.
Yeah, he's going to be careful right there as, Dustin Lewis has put a lot of pressure on the rear bumper of that number 41. This is the battle for 3rd right here. Dustin Lewis is a driver. I think back to some of the races, and he is going to get to the inside of Whiteman, who had trouble off of turn 2. Going to complete the pass down here into turn 3. Behind them, Johnny Rapp putting some pressure right here on Brandon Vees. Johnny's just trying to get back on the lead lap after that fuel snafu that he had earlier. But I think back to the speed, Ellis, that, and Casey, feel free to chime in here. The speed that Dustin Lewis had at the road course earlier, as he hits the wall, he's been so fast this season on the difficult tracks. I think that's something that really stands out for me on his season this year.
Yeah, Dustin Lewis, he's an excellent driver. Don't let, the fact that he hasn't won a race this year tell you otherwise. I'm hoping that he gets a win tonight, but he's definitely improved his racing game, his racecraft. Just keep an eye on him because I think he could be there at the end.
He is definitely looking like a driver that we're going to be talking about. Bradley Minor and Brock Whiteman. I believe that was the 41 who had trouble through that corner there. He's seen his fair share of contact with the wall, as many other drivers have. Johnny Rapp at the bottom of the screen going to try to get by Bradley Minor, but it's a gaggle of 3 cars just a little bit further back. That is Tyler Gebbin leading the way. Brandon Vees and Adam Pettit all on top of each other. Throw a blanket on those drivers. Meanwhile, Travis Bieber seeing if he can't pick up a little bit of ground on those drivers as well as they race their way down the front straightaway. Right now, you're seeing a battle for the 7th position. V's getting passed by Adam Pettit, who's been oh so impressive. 3 top 5s in 3 starts. V's grabs a little bit of the wall there. Chris, Casey, how long can you do that, grabbing the wall? How many times can you do that without really suffering serious consequences?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of playing with fire when you do that. You can get away with it a couple times. I think that everybody is going to walk out of here tonight with touching the wall at some point. It's just so difficult not to do it here at Darlington. But, if you are constantly putting the right sides up there, the law of averages is definitely going to catch up with you. And you might find yourself with some, maybe not terminal damage, but maybe some race-affecting damage.
Race-affecting damage. Go ahead.
No, Chris said it. I couldn't have said it better than what Chris said. But, we here in the NSRLA were just here a few weeks ago in the Cup car at Darlington. And I was one of those drivers who was hitting the wall a few times, and it ruined my race almost. I was able to come home with the top 5, but it's just the Darlington Stripe. They don't call it the Darlington Stripe for no reason. Very unforgiving.
Unforgiving has been one of the themes tonight. This track exacting its revenge and really laying a stranglehold on a lot of these drivers we've seen get contact with the wall and earning their Darlington stripes. We got predictions coming in the chat right now. Lost Forgotten says the 33 is going to get his win tonight. He's coaching him along in the chat. Connor Lyons saying now it's the real Lady in Black as these drivers earn their Darlington stripes. Folks, I want to know, what's your weather like right now? I know in the southeast and throughout much of the middle of the country, we've got some cold fronts rolling through with maybe ice storms. We hope you're staying safe out there, but let us know if you're expecting some snow or maybe some ice in your neck of the woods and what it's doing right now. Right now it's hot on the track, but I know it's cold all over the place. Right now, one of the hottest battles, Brock Whiteman and Adam Pettit. You're watching it there. That's a battle for the 6th position. Whiteman low off the corner, but it's not going to be enough to open the door for Adam Pettit as they cross onto lap number 65 here in a moment. Great shot. You can see just how close these drivers are.
Yeah, you definitely can right here. Brock Whiteman seems like a driver who is struggling a little bit on the long run right now. Brock is he fought hard in the early stages of this run, kind of falling off a little bit right here, Casey. And as he gets really close right here,
right there. One thing I'll say about Adam Pettit is racing against him. The guy is a master at saving his tires, keeping his equipment clean. Just a very impressive racer for only being in the NSRLA for about 4 or 5 races.
Yeah, he's definitely been one of those names that we're just constantly kind of like Adam Pettit. We're seeing him in the top 5, top 10. It feels like on a regular basis after just coming into the league. I believe it's Charlotte, if my memory is correct, which it usually isn't. But he's really, really good. Brandon V's into the wall there. He's made good friends. They might be best friends by the end of the night, that wall and that number 65. But Donnie Honeycutt's going to seize the opportunity. Honeycutt's going to go under and reclaim the 9th position. But boy, it's a stack up. Jerry Salinas and Andy Berry almost went on vacation right underneath the back bumper of Brandon V's there for a moment here on lap number 67. They get it sorted out. V's might have blinked out a little bit. Not sure if that is causing an issue, but that car is gone, at least for the moment, guys. I'm not sure if Brandon V's is disconnected, but he went into the twilight zone there. It's left Jerry Salinas about 4 or 5 car lengths off the, maybe it was 6 or 7 car lengths, and now he's behind Jerry Salinas. Y'all caught it.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, intense battle going on right here. These drivers they're pretty far behind Christian Barnes at this point, as we do have some pit stop action going on right here. I believe that the number 4 machine, no, actually, I think that was just a glitch. It showed up in timing and scoring very, very quickly as Tyler Gedman coming down pit road, but he is not right here. We are getting closer and closer to the end of this stage, and we did have an extended caution earlier, guys, because of the lineup issue, and I'm going to be curious to see, as we get closer to the end of this stage, what kind of fuel position these guys are in. Like, are they going to be able to stretch this thing out, to the end of it? Did some of these drivers maybe save a little bit of fuel early in the run, or some of them electing to save it for later?
sorry. My goodness, guys. Brandon V's almost went careening down to the backstretch wall. Sorry, the front stretch wall after contact with the left rear quarter panel of Andy Berry. You could kind of see it happening in slow motion as the train was derailing off the tracks there. And again, we talked about it, guys. Turns 3 and 4, you don't want to be side by side on the exit. It's a really dangerous place to do so. And we've seen it, just jump out and bite a lot of drivers so far tonight, and it did there, and it almost took Brandon V's, who's had a remarkably good run tonight, back to 12th right now, but it almost spoiled that 100% completely as we watch this battle with Brock Whiteman. And Travis Bieber, guys, he has come on late, and Casey, you might be able to speak to this. Travis Bieber's one of these guys I know you raced with a couple times, but he's fairly new in the NSRLA, and he's been fast, and he feels like he's getting faster as every race goes along.
Yeah, 100%. I was watching him earlier, and he fell back. I'm not 100% sure what had happened, but Travis Bieber is one of those guys who can he can make up ground, he can recover from his mistakes, and in a track like Darlington, guys, that's impressive.
Very, very impressive. Right now, you're watching Christian Barnes and Jacob Cochran, Dustin Lewis coming into the frame there as well. That's Jacob Cochran, second place. There's Christian Barnes. He's your leader. And boys, I like a good night paint scheme that's a white paint scheme. There's something about it. I don't know if it's some of the schemes that were running when Chris and I were kids. I think one of my favorite ones was. And, hey, maybe this is like a throwback to that a little bit. I remember, I think it was Casey Kane or Jason Leffler run a Great Clip scheme. There was a white scheme with flames on it, and I think they ran it at the night races that season. It might have been 03 or 04, but this kind of has given me, shades of that Great Clips car.
Yeah, that's a throwback. It sure does. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's definitely a good-looking paint scheme right there, and yeah, it's definitely a change up from what he's had earlier this season, and I believe that we've got a little bit of a replay right here as we approach the end of Stage 2. Might be able to go back right here to see what happened. That's what Ellis is talking about with Brandon V's on the inside of Andy Berry. We'll be able to show the folks watching at home what happened with him. See Andy Berry tag the wall and watch Brandon V's have to go all the way down here to the inside just to hold on to that thing right here. Brandon has been in the middle of some scrums tonight, if you will, in that 65.
Scrums are putting it lightly. Brock Whiteman making his way down pit road from the 8th position right now. I'm wondering if he's going to bring on a flurry of other drivers. Has the other shoe dropped? Will Brock Whiteman be the harbinger of the rest of the field coming down pit road? We're going to answer that question in just a moment. Michael Cole coming down pit road. And hey, that stress level for Michael Cole might be the least it's been all night long. You see it up in the top right hand of the screen. He's kind of doesn't have anything to lose at this point, right?
Well, he's been in the pits for a while. He's been in the pits for the last 14 laps, so he's been probably, he probably even stepped away a little bit right there and cooled down just a little bit. But yeah, he's getting back on the track right here, seeing if he can gain a couple spots possibly. He's one of those drivers just trying to survive into the playoffs here, maybe rely on a little misfortune from some of the other drivers. Brock Whiteman making his way off pit road. Johnny Rapp, you see, back into the top 10 for the first time since making that costly fuel calculation mistake, staying out a little bit too long at the end of stage number 1, being forced to pit into a closed pit road. Will he kind of learn from his mistake? How risky does he get? We got about 5 laps left in stage number 2. We expect that we're going to see most drivers come down pit road here for fuel and not have to take that yellow flag pit stop, but we'll continue to watch that situation and see what these drivers choose to do as we work lap number 76, halfway in the Southern 200 here at Darlington. Yeah, another driver on pit road. That's Tyler Gibbett. No, I don't know why it keeps on saying he's on pit road, but he's not. Something about that 4-car timing and scoring keeps on doing that. But Jacob Cochran, one thing I want to make note about him, Ellis and Casey, he is in hard fuel conservation mode right now. He has been clutching it. I've heard him clutch it a couple times right here. He was fighting Dustin Lewis for position for the second position, falling way off the back bumper of the 33. He's just trying to get to the end of this thing without pitting.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was watching the 33 car here, and he's making some ground on the 27. with the stage coming to the end, if he can make it all the way to the end without having to pit, this strategy might work. Watch Dustin Lewis. I think this guy could win this race tonight.
All right, you heard it here first. Casey Bristow, Media Man, picking that car you're seeing in the number 33 Blue Machine, Dustin Lewis, with a contingent of fans in the chat saying it. That's his dark horse pick. Maybe not even a dark horse pick to win this race. Dustin Lewis may be looking to start the playoffs next week with the wind behind his sails. That number 33 up into second place, just trying to maybe make it to the end of this stage. White flag has waved, and I believe we're going to see the top 10 cross the line here in just about half a lap or so as we look through the rest of the field, working their way down the backstretch. There is Shane Bieber in that, no, it's Travis Bieber rather, in that number 23. There's Adam Pettit, Johnny Rapp, and Dustin Lewis has crossed the line. Jacob Cochran has crossed the line, and we should be going under the yellow flag here to end stage number 2 in just a moment. Christian Barnes going to win that stage. Dustin Lewis going to be second. We got cars running out of gas, guys.
Yeah, I think Dustin Lewis is out of fuel
Christian
in the
Barnes
33. Yeah, I don't know if
no.
I think they're going to have to. I think that Dustin is Lewis, and we'll see who else has to as well. I think they're going to have to come to pit road while it's closed here.
Yep, Dustin's coming down to the pits right now. Christian Barnes, I think he's out too, or he's just doing a really good job of saving.
Oh, boy. Big storyline now. 3 cars, add 3 cars, potentially 4. And there is that stage flag to end stage number 2. And we're keeping an eye on that 27 car. We've seen the 33 who's not going to be able to make it to his stop. That is going to be a big moment. He's going to have to pick up the tow truck to get to his pit stall. That could be the end of that 33's chances to win this race. And he is creeping along. Is there any rule, Casey, you might know this, that would prevent another driver from coming down pit road and potentially giving him a push so he doesn't have to take that 2+ minute tow time?
Well, that's actually a really good question, because I've seen where they've said they've had drivers do it and nothing has happened. It's a real gray area, and then they've said they don't want drivers doing it. If I'm a driver with nothing to lose, I'm not in the playoffs, and I want Dustin Lewis to be successful, I might go down there and push him. You have nothing to lose. We're going to find out here soon. There's some cars coming up behind him.
Tyler Gibbon, Andy Berry, will either one play the hero? And the answer is a resounding no. Dustin Lewis is a lonely. These guys have trouble getting down pit road as well. I think the 4 might be out of gas. What is happening, guys? Full moon tonight in Darlington, South Carolina. And it's easy for me to say this from the booth, but I don't understand how this is happening. We've got pretty good fuel calculations, pretty close with the iRacing UI. And why would a driver, as we watch Christian Barnes, the leader, come to pit road, why would a driver take that risk, with just 8 or 9 cars on the lead lap and a caution getting ready to come out?
Yeah, it's easy to look at it and wonder that for sure. It's so unfortunate for these drivers, especially Dustin Lewis having to take the tow. Tyler Gibbon is still trying to get to his pit stall. See Christian Barnes working his way in. Yeah, it's difficult to say. A lot of drivers, Ellis, made it. And I think that it's the drivers who were very aggressive with saving early on in that stage. Drivers like Donnie Honeycutt, drivers like Christian Barnes, Johnny Rapp. Those drivers were I noticed they were way off the pace. Jacob Cochran, I don't know if I said him, but yeah, they were way off the pace at the beginning of the run, and they were the drivers who were able to make it to the end right here. So definitely heads up move by those drivers playing the long game here.
Hey, long game. Michael Cole now, guys. He's up to 15th. He's gaining some laps back here, currently in the 15th position. You can see him. He is one of those drivers who's on the bubble currently. And we want to do a check-in here momentarily. We're going to do something before that. I'll give Casey and Chris maybe an opportunity to kind of see where these bubble drivers are so we can get an update on those in a minute. And while they're kind of, figuring that out, not to put them on the spot, I'm going to give them some vamp time here. But fans at home, I know the Dustin Lewis fans are beside themselves, but we still got plenty of fun to be had. We're giving away that Panini NASCAR trading card pack. You could have a 1 in 5 shot to get a driver autograph card in that. let's give you an opportunity to get some comments in the chat, whether you're on your phone, whether you're on your computer, your tablet, whatever you got. There's a chat button there for you. We're going to put a misspelled or a scrambled word on the screen. And let's see if you can't unscramble it in the chat, folks. I'm going to throw it up there now. And I will say it's incredibly relevant and timely to the things we've been talking about here over the last few laps and really throughout the night on multiple occasions. See if you can't unscramble that word. Let us know in the chat what the correct answer is to unscramble that word on the screen right now. And, hey, we're even looking at a driver that might be a clue as to what that answer is right now. Christian Barnes and Donnie Honeycutt are on the front row. We're going to be coming to the one to go this time by, I believe. Guys, do we have an update on the playoff bubble?
Yeah, I can confirm.
Oh, boy,
and
sorry
Casey,
about that. We're gonna. I looks like the pace car is peeling off. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. They'll see the restart. Let's do it. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so with the situation right now, Michael Cole is in a very, very difficult position. He came into this race 2 points above the cut line to Bradley Minor. Bradley Minor is still on track in the 11th position. Dustin Lewis had some misfortune right there. He's currently showing as 3 laps down, and I can confirm he is rolling on track. He came in 14 points above the cut line, but with the trouble that Michael Cole had earlier, as long as Dustin Lewis stays on track and doesn't run into any issues, he will finish ahead of Michael Cole.
Donnie Honeycutt.
Oh, big moment for Donnie Honeycutt. Series points leader from the top 3. Slams the left side of that car on that wall, and you can see the pancake is beginning to take shape and set in. Pull out the syrup for the left side of the number 22 who got that front stretch wall. And I know Chris is probably working on seeing if we can't figure out what happened to him right now. Christian Barnes is scored as your leader with a quickly surging, I'll add, Adam Pettit. Brian Bittler does the same thing. This might bring out the caution head on into the front stretch wall, who's claimed 2 victims in as many laps here on lap 88. Race director holds that caution flag in his hand, not going to pull it out this time, letting the race continue naturally under green. And boy, guys, cold tires. Looks like they've struck here on lap 87 and 88, but battle for the lead picks up Adam Pettit. Where did he come from?
Yeah, Adam Pettit has, I heard Casey talk about it earlier. That's a driver tonight that we've got to watch for the long run pace because he's so good at holding on to tires, and at Darlington, that is so important right here. Christian Barnes doing a nice job right there on the exit of turn 2, getting that Ford Mustang cut down to the bottom right there. These two are battling it out right here for the lead, and I think we'll be able to keep our eye on this and go back and see what happened to Donnie Honeycutt, our points leader in the 22. He had that trouble off of turn 4, and, well, we'll see if we can go side by side right here to see. Here he is in that Callaway Golf Machine. Car gets loose right there, goes to that inside wall. He's trying to turn right as hard as he can right there, and unfortunately he's going to pancake driver's side as we're side by side for the lead.
Pettit
side by side. Battle for the lead heats up in turns 3 and 4. They're going to have to be careful. It's been a danger zone all night long, but the cream of the crop has risen to the top. Barnes and Pettit, they make it work off turn 3 and 4, which many drivers have not been successful at. Side by side work that time. They both climbed the banking nose to tail here. Here's the setup. Adam Pettit swings to the left, and it's side by side in turns 3 and 4.
Guys, I tell you who's enjoying this a lot right now is that 41 car, Brock Whiteman. He wants these two guys to go at it, burn their stuff up, maybe even wreck, so he can get to the lead. He has a good gap between him and 4th place. If I'm Brock Whiteman, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, Brock Whiteman right there. He is 1 lap down behind these guys right here. And yeah, you're right, Casey. He's probably wanting these guys to race. He might be able to charge up here and get his lap back the old-fashioned way just by driving by the two of them. While we're going to continue to watch this, and we do have a replay of also what happened to Ryan Bittler in the number 9 car. Saw him with a similar incident. Ryan had actually just come off of pit road, so cold tires as he exited pit road, rejoined the field on the backstretch coming off of turn 4 right here. It looks so similar to what happened to Donnie Honeycutt. The only thing is different is he's going to go nose
Adam
first
Pettit gets in the back of Christian Barnes.
moment for the top two on the front straightaway, and it happened shockingly, or maybe not shockingly, off of turns 3 and 4 with the 27 off the front bumper of the 95. I believe maybe the 27 got into the wall before that contact happened, and again, when you ride so close, that's racing, but Darlington will jump out and bite you, and the lady in black did just that a moment ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh no, Adam Pettit loose off two. No, guys, just let me say this. Turn 2 tonight, turn 2 is not your friend.
Not your friend at all here as they cross the front straightaway line. Now 95 laps in. It's just 55 laps left to the Southern 200 here at Darlington. Chat comments coming in. We got the Renee Lewis and all the other Dustin Lewis fans saying, don't count that 33 out. If he can get those laps back, he's one of the fastest cars on the track. Folks, the answers to that word scramble, so timely, it was gasoline. Shout out to Renee Lewis and Gone Forgotten for getting that one correct. The answer was gasoline. You unscrambled it correctly. That battle for the lead continuing, but you're watching Travis Bieber. They're in third place. Travis with a great run going tonight, but all the action right now is up front.
Yeah, and let's see if we can go back and see from a driver's perspective right here what happened between the 27 and the 96, Christian Barnes and Adam Pettit. We're going to show you from a roof cam perspective. This will be a really good view right here of Christian Barnes up ahead in that 27 car. Christian Barnes up on the high side right here. He is looking, that's Adam Pettit on the high side right there. Oh, Barnes, you can see right there, he got a little low, got sideways, and Pettit just going to get into the back. That 27 car tags the wall off the corner right there. But I got to say, I really like what I saw right there out of Adam Pettit. He lifted right here going into turn 3, deciding that he did not want to complete the pass in that manner right there. And after racing with Adam and seeing him these last couple of weeks, I'm not surprised at all by that mentality. Real gentleman move right there out of the driver of the 96.
A 96 continuing to prove what a class act he is. And just his 4th race here in NSRLA, continuing to race that 27 incredibly cleanly. Just good hard-nosed racing. You can see the flames coming out of the right side, those exhaust pipes when those drivers lift off the throttle. Pettit has a moment there. He had to lift off the throttle on the exit of turn number 4, but gathers it back up, losing about 3 or 4 car lengths to the number 27 of Barnes, and Chris Rhythm, the 96, can't get out of the wall. Ooh. Big time damage on the right side of second place, Adam Pettit, and Darlington will suck you in and it will not let you out, and we just saw Adam Pettit learn that.
Yeah, guys, I gotta say something. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say, yeah, he hit the wall right there, and on the exit of turn 2, man, it is very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult to get out of the wall once you make the contact here at Darlington.
I feel like we've had a bit of a couple of commentators' curses tonight. One, me with Dustin Lewis, and then he runs out of gas, and then we're praising Adam Pettit, and he gets into the wall. But, I mean, he's gathered it back up. He's not out of this.
Not out of this at all. Several drivers still within striking distance. Currently, we've got 7 cars on the lead lap. All of them have a shot, and we are going to find out in just about 52 laps how this thing is going to shake out. Michael Cole head-on into the front stretch wall. That heart rate's going to go through the roof here in just a moment, and it's also going to deliver the caution flag for the 3rd time tonight. Here under the lights at Darlington, we are under yellow flag conditions for a heavy crash on the front stretch wall, and Michael Cole, that night went from bad to worse, gentlemen.
Yeah, it definitely did, and a very unfortunate night for Michael Cole. I think that this is going to this might do in his chances for the playoffs. We're going to go back and see what happened. He had gotten a lot of his damage fixed, but you see the car is still pretty wounded right here, Casey. And yeah, he's going to make some contact at the outside wall right there in 3 and 4. Can't get out of it. That's kind of like the same thing that we saw on the opposite end of the track right there with Adam Pettit, and he tags the inside wall.
And then engine went boom. Just such an unforgiving track, and you got to think all the pressure that's on him tonight to, claim his spot in the playoffs. It's just unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeed. We're going to see some green flag pit stops here. Yellow flag pit stops. Christian Barnes leading the rest of the pack. Adam Pettit, who's going to, maybe that was timely, guys. He's going to be able to get a lot of that damage potentially repaired, whatever damage he incurred. So this caution couldn't have come at a better time for that number 96 machine. Second place, Adam Pettit. We're setting up really what's going to be the final portion of this race.
Yeah, we are, and this kind of is going to throw out the strategy for a lot of drivers. I saw Johnny Rapp, I saw Jacob Cochran, I saw several of them in the back just kind of riding around, saving fuel, trying to decide if they could make it on one more stop, and with this caution, Ellis, everybody is going to have to pit one more time here, so that's going to throw the fuel strategy out of this thing right here, and I think that we'll see drivers on this restart. I think we'll see them get after it here, as you know, there's going to be about 45 laps to go here once we go back green.
45 laps to go as we watch these drivers exit pit road. A lot of drivers cut a lucky break, and one of those drivers, Christian Barnes, comes off of pit road in the lead. Adam Pettit's going to be second. Dustin Lewis, guys, did he get one of his laps back there, or were lap down cars allowed to pit with the rest of the field?
I believe that, yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think he took it. I think he's still three down.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's still 3 laps down. And with the issues that Michael Cole has had, you know, Dustin Lewis right here in the 12th spot, and Michael Cole looking like he's got some pretty terminal damage to his car. You know, Dustin just has to maintain. He doesn't have to, you know, do a lot of, you know, crazy things to, you know, make up a lot of ground right here. He just needs to stay clean, stay on track. Bradley Minor is thinking the exact same thing in the 11th spot as well. Those two drivers right there, they're just trying to get to the end of this thing to secure that spot into the playoffs.
Guys, real quick, the 23 took the outside line, Travis Bieber. He is 61 points back, and he is in a must-win situation. It's like I was telling you at the beginning of the race. What price are you willing to pay? They have to pit one more time. Is this a situation where you maybe take 2 tires, maybe you take none? And Chevrolet in the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series does not have a win. What a perfect opportunity to get their first win and get into the playoffs.
Yeah,
lots of comments coming in the chat right now from fans watching at home. We got Ryan in the chat. Chatting with Janine, making some jokes in the chat. Tony in here as well. Connor Lyons had a joke for us earlier. We'll try to go back to that in a minute. Oh boy, Ryan's going to the bar. Be careful out there. Be careful. Hopefully none of these drivers went to the bar tonight. We're going to find out who is in the best shape here in the final 45 laps. It's going to be Christian Barnes, Adam Pettit, who take the restart. A big stack up a little bit further back, but Barnes gets away. No issues at all. That's going to be Adam Pettit slotting into second. And you mentioned earlier, Casey, Travis Bieber chose the outside line, and maybe that was not the call. He's only going to slip back to third. Jacob Cochran right behind him. Cochran, a car that had trouble, and he's actually, I believe Jacob Cochran is currently being scored. My timing might be messed up here. Is Cochran showing up in 4th place for you guys?
He is in the 4th position. Yep.
All right, I'm going to let y'all call this while I update my stats then.
Yeah, when Jacob Cochran, look at the inside right here of Travis Bieber. Yeah, he's going to make that pass right there into turn 1. And here I think, Casey, this is where we're going to see these drivers, you know, that were riding earlier in the race. I think they're going to get after right here as we got a battle for the lead.
Yep, Pettit making a look on the inside of turn 3. We'll see if he can complete it between 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's got that inside lane right here. Got it rolling down here on the bottom. But as we've seen all night, driver on the outside has the run off of 4, but this is the best on the bottom that we've seen right here, and put Adam Pettit to the front right here, passing Christian Barnes with authority into turn 1. Adam Pettit securely to the lead right here. Jacob Cochran going to try to follow suit. We got Donnie Honeycutt sideways off the corner. Donnie is persevering right here with all that left front damage to his car, and Casey, he is up here into the 5th position, looking strong right here considering all the damage that he has.
Well, there's a reason he's leading in points this season. Donnie Honeycutt is one of the best drivers I think I've ever seen on iRacing. Just a total package driver. I can tell you that I'm much more comfortable being up in this booth than I am racing against that guy.
Hey, well, I do have some intel from the chat, guys. Donnie Honeycutt has apparently a nickname amongst his friend group. They refer to him, I think this was a joke, as Honey Nut. So we're going to have to be careful. I'm going to want to start calling him Honey Nut. And he's currently running in 5th is Honey Nut, as his friends lovingly refer to him, it sounds like. But right now, it's all Adam Pettit, about 5, 6, 7 car lengths in front of second place. But look at that battle. The number 8 of Jacob Cochran swings it to the left, takes that move down to the inside in turns 3 and 4, a daring move, but they won't be side by side. Fortunately for both of those drivers, Cochran takes that command of second place as they cross the line. 110 laps in the book here from Darlington. Just 40 laps remaining for the Downtown Auto Sales Series regular season, with playoff berths on the line for several drivers. The heart rates are going up and the stress levels are going up.
Yeah, they are right here as we got Johnny Rapp looking to the inside of Brandon V's. This is a battle right here for the 6th position. V's on the outside right here. Brandon V's in a must-win situation tonight. He's not going to give up that position easily right here, as he's going to hold on to the 6th spot. Looking back up here at the front of the field, you got Jacob Cochran. Jacob is, he's slowly reeling in that number 96 of Adam Pettit, getting closer and closer to the rear bumper of Pettit, seeing what he might possibly be able to do with the driver of the 96. While this is going on, there's a very intense battle going on right here. Actually, no, I take it back. That's not a battle for position. We just got a lot of cars that are laps down right here throughout this field right here. Johnny Rapp is still putting a lot of pressure on Brandon V's. He's looking back to the inside of V's right here, down into turn 3. Seeing if he can get the run off of turn 4 this time. But Casey, just look at the momentum that top lane as they get close together off of 4.
I mean, we're coming down to crunch time. 38 laps to go. These cars hold about 35 laps of fuel. You got to think, what strategies are these guys going to do? What do they have in their playbook? It's crunch time. It's the 4th quarter. What are you going to do?
Yeah, 4th quarter is...
I was going to say, right here, we got the run right there off of turn 2. Sorry to interrupt, Ellis, right there. Johnny Rapp going to complete the pass right there, and Johnny is getting off of turn 2 very, very well in that 52.
That number 52 getting off the corner really well, moving himself up to the 6th position, a car that dominated the first portion of the race, but made a costly fuel calculation error, trying to see if he can't claw his way back into this Southern 200 here at Darlington. Great racing going on so far. We got some comments going on in the chat. We'll talk about those in a minute. But it's Jacob Cochran and Adam Pettit fighting each other for the lead, tooth and nail. Pettit has it, Cochran wants it, and Cochran has come on like a lightning bolt here in the last couple of laps. Producer Cam, I'm wondering if we can't get that battle box up and see just how much faster Jacob Cochran might be than Adam Pettit. You can see it just a lap ago. It was forecasted 2 laps. It was going to take Jacob Cochran to get by leader Adam Pettit, who took the lead away just about 7 laps ago. The question is, you can catch him, but can you get by him is the old adage in racing. Catching him's one thing, guys, but getting by is the other. And they climb the banking in turn 1. Pettit holding off that black and red machine of Jacob Cochran as they set sail down the backstretch here at Darlington.
Yeah, Jacob Cochran doing all that he can right here. They were side by side. He almost gets into the back right there of Adam Pettit on entry to turn 3. Got a couple of different philosophies right here. I think we're seeing Jacob Cochran drive a little bit harder right now and than he has all night. And, we kind of talked about that on the pit stop, with everybody being kind of locked in on fuel strategy. He's going to hit the wall. And he stuck to it, and you see what happens here, and that's just a prime example. You touch the wall, and he did a really good job of, getting it off the wall, but you can get stuck to it really easily here.
I was watching them, Chris and Ellis, as they were entering turn 1. It looked like Jacob Cochran backed up his corner entry just a little bit. It's just unfortunate it didn't work out well for him, but he's recovering, and like I said, never count out Jacob Cochran.
Never count out Jacob Cochran. He's got now 32 laps. If he's going to pull off win number 4 of the season, he's got to get by Adam Pettit, who's led the last 10 laps or so. You can look through the rest of the field. Johnny Rapp now up to 5th. He's running some of the fastest laps. In fact, he ran the fastest lap that time by. That number 52 machine, so brilliant at the beginning of this race, is fighting his way back into it, and seemingly with 31 laps left, that car might have a chance for the win. As we watch the battle for the lead continue to pick up off the corner, drivers being incredibly careful, especially as the run continues. Chris, tire wear probably starting to set in, and these drivers had to tiptoe it around here on the exit of these corners.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I really like that line right there. That's the line that I always like in turns 3 and 4. You got some different, options down there. Down in 1 and 2, you're locked in. Everybody's kind of doing the same thing. Low, drifting high, off the throttle, cut down right here, late off turn 2. But watch down here in turn 3. I'm hoping we ride on board maybe with Jacob Cochran to maybe watch his perspective. See if he does it down here. Yeah, he's going to go down low right here. He's not quite as low this time as he was before, but man, I like that low line. I like putting the left sides right there on that dash line. I know a lot of people don't like running down there, but I've always found that I can save tire here at Darlington if I'm able to do that from the beginning of the run onward. It's just, I just feel like it always holds on to the temperature and to the wear a little bit longer right there. As Jacob, I think he got a little bit offline right there in 1 and 2.
Christian Barnes now creeping up into the picture. He's made it a 3-horse race in the front, nearing the final 28 laps here at Darlington for the Downtown Auto Sales Series. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the Slingshot TV booth by Chris Smith, Casey Bristow, and Cam Gillens, bringing you all the racing action live and up front and personal, I guess, here is what we're about to see from Christian Barnes as he's right on the back bumper of that number 8 of Jacob Cochran as they go down into turn number 3. It might have been a little bit of the right side that got the wall there for Christian Barnes as they continue to just slowly creep their way towards the end of this race. Are drivers trying to save anything at this point, or is it just all out?
I think that with the pit stop coming up, Casey, I think that you can drive a little bit harder here. And that's going to be my next question right here. When do you come to pit road? Are you going to split this thing in half, or are you going to hold out and wait for a caution? It's going to be real dicey to come to pit road. We're coming up to the point right now where they would be thinking about splitting this run in half, as Christian Barnes seems to have the long run pace right here. Yeah, Jacob hit the wall off turn 4.
Yeah, it's do or die now. You have to pick a decision and stick with it. I'm very curious to see how many tires these guys have left. So if you're someone like Travis Bieber, who's, I don't know if he's just falling back or he's maybe saving a little bit, but save those tires, maybe take no tires on the pit stop, fuel only, maybe steal a win here.
Drivers looking to steal a win. We can count at least, it's going to take maybe at least one full hand or maybe going on the second hand to count how many drivers have an opportunity to get this win. And several comments coming in the chat. We're hearing from Ryan and Janine. I'm curious how y'all's weather are, Ryan, Janine, and Tony. What's it looking like? Are you getting snow? Are you getting ice this coming weekend? Folks, we got a question for you also in the trivia. Going to be the last question of the night, last opportunity to potentially put yourself in the running order for that Panini NASCAR trading card set. And the question is, in the inaugural 1950 Southern 500, winner Johnny Mance used what unusual equipment to survive the race? Was it A, truck tires, B, a diesel engine, or C, leather seat belts?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Oh, Jacob Cochran hit the entry cone, excuse me. Jacob Cochran and Travis Bieber making their final pit stops. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and as those drivers do come down pit road, I do want to make note that Jacob Cochran had significantly fallen off the pace after that contact to the outside wall after contact with Christian Barnes off of turn 4. So I think this is kind of like his last-ditch effort to try to win this thing coming to pit road before anybody else, as Christian Barnes is really reeling in Adam Pettit right here, and they've got the lap car of Dustin Lewis right behind them, putting some pressure on them.
Yeah, I was looking to see if there might be a penalty there for Jacob Cochran because he hit the entry cone, but looks like he got away with one, and we'll see what happens as Travis Beaver exits the pit exit.
Adam Pettit coming down pit road as well here in that number 96. That is your second place car, Pettit. He's going to bring Johnny Rapp with him. This will be the final set of pit stops for these two drivers now with just 22 laps remaining in the Southern 200. These two cars are potential winners. They could end up in victory lane tonight, but before they do so, they've got to get fuel to make it the rest of the way. It's going to likely force the hand of Christian Barnes and Donnie Honeycutt, and here's the answer. Here's the response. Christian Barnes pits from the lead in that number 27 Domino's machine, coming down to get 4 fresh tires, a full tank of fuel, and maybe a slice of pizza for the final run here. Down to the wire is this race going to go. Now Donnie Honeycutt jumps to the lead. He's going to lead at least a lap. Brock Whiteman's going to slot into second as we get down to crunch time. The money window has opened.
Significant development right there. Jacob Cochran, you mentioned it, Casey. He did hit that commitment cone, and he did receive a 40-second penalty on pit road. So Jacob Cochran's chances to win this race, unfortunately, have gone up in smoke here with just 20 laps remaining.
I was about to say, I was watching, looking at the black flags. Brandon Vees, after having such a good run, he also got a black flag. I'm not sure what it was for. Might have been speeding, but just unfortunate to see.
Christian Barnes working his way back onto the track after coming to get those tires is going to slot back in the 4th position. Again, that was a car that pit from the lead. Talking about Christian Barnes, you're watching Donnie Honeycutt still scored as your leader. Honey not yet to come down pit road to get that final tank of gasoline to make it the rest of the way. It's the only lone car not to come down pit road yet as Brock Whiteman hits pit road. And there is the provisional leader behind Honeycutt, Pettit, and Minor get into a scrum. Minor keeps it off the wall there. What could have been a disastrous turn of events for what will likely become the eventual leader of this race. Suddenly, he's able to avoid catastrophe. Travis Bieber is now the 3rd place car. He's a lap down. He has got his tires, and boy, this is Travis Bieber put him into the list of cars that potentially could make a run at the win by the time this thing is all said and done, guys.
It's not going to be easy, though. He's got a fast Christian Barnes coming up right behind him.
Yeah, he does right here. Christian Barnes making up a lot of time right here. Barnes, now I think that the battle that we're really going to have to watch, Christian Barnes has about 3 lap fresher tires than Travis Bieber. He's got about 2 lap fresher tires than Adam Pettit. I think that's going to be, I think we're going to have to watch the 96 and the 27. Adam Pettit right now is exiting turn 2, and you can see in the background, that's a pretty significant gap right here with 17 laps remaining. You know, Christian Barnes still has to work his way around Travis Bieber, and Travis is pointing quick enough to, to give him fits right here. And I think it's all going to depend on how they hit this lap traffic here in the closing stages of this thing.
Adam Pettit just unlapped himself. I'm curious to see what Donnie Honeycutt's plans are, or Honey Nut's plans are. We'll see.
Right now, 16 laps left here in Darlington, folks. We're hearing in the chat some of you are getting snow. Stay safe in that snow. Hopefully you can go play in the snow just a little bit. But yeah, Ryan says this is going to be a wild one. I think I agree with you 100%. Folks, lots of answers in the chat. We heard some people say diesel engine is what Johnny Mance won with. Some said truck tires. No one said the leather seatbelts, thank goodness. But the correct answer is truck tires. Southern 500, Johnny Mance used truck tires to win that inaugural Southern 500. So hopefully you've learned a little bit from the trivia. Stick around for the last couple of laps, folks. We're going to give that Panini NASCAR trading card pack set away. Leader Leader, second place, I should say, Adam Pettit, Chris, just had a run-in with the number 4. That is the number 4, I believe, of Tyler Gebbin, who we saw some contact with there. Gebbin now behind the 96, but as that 96 rolled up on the back of the number 4, there was a little bit of contact, and it's difficult to navigate around slower cars, and by no means is Gebbin super slow, but you've got a leader who's got a lot of speed just trying to inch out further in front of the pack, and you saw it kind of cause a little bit of issues there. Just now, 15 laps left here from Darlington. That is Adam Pettit.
Yeah, and we can actually look back at that right here. We can go side by side right here and show the contact between Adam Pettit and Tyler Gebbin. Gebbin up ahead in that number 4 car, riding on board the roof cam right here. Just rolls into, just different in corner speed right there. We saw the 4 kind of disappear as he had a connection flash, but that's just difference in roll speed, and it speaks to what we were talking about earlier, Ellis and Casey, about, if you are one of these drivers right here, if you are Adam Pettit, if you are Christian Barnes, there's a lot of pressure to get through the lap cars as quickly as you can. So, we'll go back here full screen right here and focus in on the race leader of Adam Pettit right here. He is still, as Donnie Honeycutt is making his pit stop, relinquishing the race lead. That's a 2-second gap right now, 2.15 seconds. We're going to have our eyes on that interval here in the closing stages between Christian Barnes and Adam Pettit.
Now, one other car that I'm keeping an eye on, guys, is Johnny Rapp. He's running some of the fastest times on the track. In fact, that time by, he was the fastest car. Can he close? He might not have enough laps now with just 12 laps left. You're looking right now at that story that we were just talking about. 8 laps is what it looks like it's going to take Christian Barnes maybe to catch the leader. That is the biggest story we're following here in the closing laps at Darlington. Christian Barnes doing everything he can to reel in Adam Pettit, who just really kind of assumed a dominant lead after that cycle of pit stops. Pettit now out to about a 2-second advantage. Johnny Rapp seems to have stabilized right around 4.1 seconds. In fact, lost a little bit that time by, so pending some sort of caution, it looks like it might be a 2-horse race, and yeah, Christian Barnes has to get by Mark Cofield as quickly as he can, guys. He can't afford to mess around with any sort of lap traffic.
Yeah, just as you say that, Christian Barnes makes quick work of Mark Cofield, but coming up 10 laps to go, we're going to see what Christian Barnes is made of, and, race it against him. He's one of the best, so I won't be shocked if Christian Barnes gets up there.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be difficult. He has 10 laps remaining. He has cut into it here this lap. It's gonna be. I'm curious to see what the battle box says this lap if it changes from that 30 laps projected pass. Yeah, it's cut down to 16, and then it changes right there to similar pace. Yeah, in these closing stages right here, he has got to start making up about 0.2 a lap here. Oh, as he hits the wall, he's trying to do all he can, but man, that is going to kill the time right there. You saw he lost almost 0.2 of a second right there instead of gaining 0.2 off of turn 2.
We are watching an amazing battle shaping up here from Darlington. 8 laps remain in the regular season here for the Downtown Auto Sales Series from NSRLA. Folks, if you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. It's the best way you can support our channel and what we do here, bringing you amazing racing every single week. And we're watching that lead. It is currently kind of stabilized. 1.8 seconds, now down to 1.7 seconds is what separates that car that you're watching right now. You can see that black number 96 in front of him as Barnes slides it a little bit off of turn number 4. The question is, does that car get bigger or smaller in the front window of Christian Barnes? Looking for it to get bigger, which means he'll be closing in, but Barnes has had a tough last couple of laps. He hasn't been able to pick up any time at all. You almost wonder, is this Adam Pettit's race to lose here? Is he really just in a situation where he's got to avoid a mistake, guys?
I need to ask Casey this because he is more familiar with the league and the league rules with the points and everything, but something I have not thought about until now, is Adam Pettit eligible to make the playoffs? Has he run enough races to do so if he wins tonight?
He would not be eligible. I think
okay.
you have to run up to like 10 or 11 races, and he's not even half of that. So as cool as it would be to see him in the playoffs, this would just be another virtual trophy on the virtual shelf.
And hey, that's I agree with the rules right there. I do think that you should have to run a certain portion of the schedule to make the playoffs, and this would still be a big win for Adam. And I know he would definitely be excited if he's able to hold on to it. And one thing I think that is really cool about the Downtown Auto Sales National Series, guys, is this season there's only 3 repeat winners. There's 3 people who have won 2 races, and then a host of other people who have won 1 race this season. So a lot of different winners this year has made this a very fun series to call.
Yeah, if he were to win this race, which it looks like he very may will, if you're Bradley Minor, you're glad that he doesn't have that many races in, because if let's say he did, he's in the playoffs and Minor's out.
Just about 4 laps left for the leader, Adam Pettit, looking to score his first win of the season. 4 races in. He's got 3 top 5s to show for those first 3 races. Is he going to add the ultimate trophy to that cadre that he's already built so far? Pettit now, 3 laps left. Christian Barnes, guys, 1.4 seconds. He's gained about 3.5 tenths of a second in the last 3 laps or so. He's running out of laps. He's going to have to run some heaters if this is going to be in a realm of possibilities. He rides the track to the high line through turns 3 and 4, wheeling it for everything he's got. You can see him get a little bit loose off the corner. It's now down to 1.2 seconds. Is the 96 fading in the final 2 laps? And is it going to be enough for Barnes to sneak one away here?
And up ahead of the leaders. Yeah, Brandon Vees was sideways off the corner right in front of Adam Pettit. There's a battle going on between Vees and Andy Berry, and that is the last thing that Adam Pettit wants to see out his windshield.
Looking at a couple lap down cars across the straightaway, across the finish line. It's going to be Adam Pettit taking the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams. Pettit rolls through. There's contact. A couple cars slowing down in front of Pettit. Will it be long enough for him to get to the checkered flag without encountering 2 or 3 cars on top of each other? That is the question that he's wondering. Meanwhile, it's 7 tenths of a second back to Christian Barnes, who's slowly creeping into the picture. He's not going to have the time, though. Pettit survives a wild final lap in front of him to get the checkered flag at Darlington, and he wins the Southern 200 to pick up his first career win in NSRLA in the Downtown Auto Sales Series. Give it to Adam Pettit. Christian Barnes crosses the line second. Johnny Rapp, although fast early, trouble in the middle of the race, he fights back to claim the final position on that podium.
Wow, what a race. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a fun race to watch right there. A great job. And we saw a lot of different leaders here tonight. Adam Pettit, Christian Barnes, Jacob Cochran, Johnny Rapp, all leading laps tonight, all looking like at points during the race they would be the cars to beat. And give it to Adam Pettit right here. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see him pick up a victory before the end of this season. And I think the biggest question, guys, is going to be, when's he going to win next? Because that driver of the 96 has got a lot of speed.
Indeed he does. Just let's hope it's not next week, because I'm going home to Richmond. I don't want him to win that one.
Well, speaking of winning, we've got a Panini NASCAR trading card pack winner, and that is Ryan. Ryan, you can see our email up on the screen right now in that gold box. You can email us at ssracingleagues@gmail.com to claim that card pack. We'll get it out to you in the mail this weekend. With all the snow going on, it might take a minute to get to you. But with that being said, folks, we're going to take a moment to get set here for the post-race interviews and get everything set up and get these drivers into the post-race interview room. With that, while that's happening, we're going to hear from our partners Whiplash Simcams, who make all of this happen and bring you these beautiful shots that expert producer Cam can put up for you every single week. We're going to hear from Whiplash. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Top 3 interviews coming up next. Back here live from Darlington, and what was an amazing finish to this race. One of those finishers was Johnny Rapp, who we have caught up with trackside after an amazing start to this race, really built a lead out of the gate. Johnny, this is Ellis, Chris, Casey, and Cam in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy, sir.
Absolutely, and man, a stacked field in here in the booth tonight, huh?
It's a full house, man. We miss you, but Cam is holding down the fort pretty well. And, man, you did a great job out there tonight for your first night out here with NSRLA. We're always glad when our guys get out here and put on a show. Chris won that race at Charlotte a few weeks ago, and you almost did it again here representing Slingshot TV in incredible fashion, also Whiplash Simcams on that thing. Man, congrats on the finish. I got to jump to the first question. What happened in that first cycle of pit stops that kind of saw you staying out, but ended up having to come down pit road while it was closed?
Yeah, it's all a miscalculation from Johnny here, but yeah, I thought that caution I had enough time to save enough to make it, and then I kind of realized it too late. Not too used to stage racing here, but yeah, I tried to save all I could right at the end of that thing, but wasn't going to make it. Came down and got that penalty and all that stuff. So it was a mess right there at the end of that stage. But
well, you regroup, man. You looked good out there. Talk to us about how tough it was and how hard-nosed that racing was. Guys were racing each other really clean, but it's Darlington. Of course, there's going to be side-by-side racing and contact. Did you have any close moments out there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you kind of, man, especially going into turn one, if you're side by side, it's literally just giving it up to chance whether the guy's going to lift or you're going to make contact. And there's a lot of really courteous drivers out there tonight. And I didn't have anything that was too close. Couple close calls on exit, but I mean, all in all, it was a great race.
Man, we had fun out there watching you do your thing tonight. Before we let you go, any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
Well, as always, you guys for putting on the show here. We always appreciate that. I like going in and watching these. I know I don't run here every week, but I still tune in. And yeah, NSRLA for allowing me to run tonight, kind of a one-off deal. I appreciate that. Had a lot of fun. Racing with everybody out here. Darlington is one of my favorite tracks. And yeah, I think my dad and my sister out there are watching. Everybody that tunes in and supports the league, we appreciate it.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. We'll look forward to having you in the booth on Monday night. And can't thank you enough for everything you do. Go celebrate that podium finish and your one-off debut here for NSRLA.
Absolutely.
We heard from Johnny Rapp. Chris, I believe you were able to catch up with second-place finisher Christian Barnes.
Yeah, let's talk to him right now. Christian Barnes, our second-place finisher tonight. This is Chris, Ellis, Casey, and Cam in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy. Well, Christian, hey, first off, great run tonight. You had a lot of speed in that 27 car. Definitely made it entertaining for us. Walk me through that final stage right there. It seemed like there was a lot riding on the line right there with that final pit stop between you, Adam Pettit, and Jacob Cochran right there. And what more did you need to chase down the driver of the 96 right there in the closing stages?
I think I just needed to pit when he did. That or stay out longer and come out with way fresher tires, similar to what I tried. I think it was. I forgot the other track that I think it was Myrtle Beach or something like that. It was one of those tracks that I stayed out really late and was able to almost run them down. But this time I guess I got a little nervous that they'd get too far ahead that I wouldn't have a chance to catch them. So I pit a few laps, probably too late. Either pit early or pit with them, and I think I would have had them. I think I had the best long run car, but unfortunately the short run I was just way too loose. I just couldn't drive it like they could on the short run, but either give me more laps or have me go on his strategy and maybe I would have had him.
You guys had a heck of a battle before that pit stop right there. We saw you make a little bit of contact off of turn 2. Do you have any other close calls maybe other than that moment right there where you guys were battling it out for the lead?
With me and him, not really. I mean, we're racing really hard and clean. Yeah, there's a little bit of contact, but I got loose, so I kind of caused that a little bit. I appreciate him checking up for me and not, passing like that. But I think earlier in the race, whenever I was trying to make my way through the field in stage one, there's a few times that I almost, got crashed or, got into somebody because everybody was checking up, making mistakes, and all that. Which, it's Darlington. Everyone's gonna make that mistake. But once I was able to get to the front, it was, smooth sailing. All the guys up there, know how to drive, and they don't make as many mistakes. So, uh, other than that little contact that with me in the '96, I mean, it was fun, just a fun race.
Yeah, it was great fun watching you guys out there together competing with each other, and we're heading into the playoffs, man. We know what kind of playoff driver you are. We've seen it here on Slingshot TV, and next week we kick them off at Homestead, Miami, and we know how good you are there because I think the last time we saw you race there, I think that you brought home a championship. So, how do you feel about your chances here in the playoffs this season here in NSRLA?
I feel pretty good. But just gotta stay out of trouble and keep it clean. I think I got the speed. I just, need to get the finishes because I know recently I've not been finishing as well as I feel like I should. So just got to stay out of trouble and, we'll see what happens.
Hey, we're looking forward to seeing you tackle the high banks next week and kick off the playoffs in fine fashion. Before we let you go celebrate the second place finish, do you have any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah, I'll shout out Gavin Henson, my teammate, and for making me these new paint schemes that I'm going to be running. Especially this white one that I ran tonight, which kind of one of my favorites. So
It's good looking.
Yeah, and all the other guys on Waterford's Racing.
Well, hey, man, congratulations on securing your playoff spot, and congratulations on a great run tonight. We're looking forward to seeing you next week at Homestead.
Thank you very much. See y'all.
All right, so you heard from the top two, including Christian Barnes there. That means there's one left to hear from, and that is the winner, Adam Pettit. We've caught up with Adam Pettit in Slingshot TV Victory Lane. Adam, this is Chris, Ellis, Casey, and Cam in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Hey, man, well, we feel like this has probably been a long time coming, and just 3 races, 3 top 5s, and you were stout really for the entire duration of tonight, but it was really that second half and really the later portion of the race where that number 96 really came to life. Talk to us about kind of the story of the race, how you found yourself at the top when it all mattered in the end. How did you work your way up through the field?
Kind of like what's been happening, every week so far. It just seems like there's always something. Like at the start of this one, I hopped in the grid and my wheel started oscillating like crazy. So I had to exit out and jump back in, and I was a lap down. And thank goodness for stages and cautions and lucky dogs and wave rounds and all that kind of stuff. But I mean that's kind of what it was, and it's like I said, it's just kind of what it's been here. For these first 4 weeks is just battling through adversity, and finally, battled hard enough to get up here and win one. But I'll tell you what, man, Christian was definitely making me nervous there on that last run. He was anywhere between 2/10 to 4/10 faster a lap. I was just bleeding it, and I tried to push, and then it just became worse. So luckily, we only had 150 laps tonight, not 155.
Well, man, you made it look easy there on the final laps. I know Christian Barnes was kind of reeling you in, but it didn't happen until the really the very, very end of that run. Tonight, Darlington is difficult. Talk to us about how much you practiced coming into this race and just what it took to kind of just stay in the rhythm all night long. We saw a lot of drivers have trouble with that.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those tracks where you have to race the track, not the drivers, not the other cars around. Passing is obviously extremely difficult. Doesn't matter if you're faster than them or not. You got to beat them on corner entry, and if you don't do that right, you're going to wash up the track and cause wrecks and bounce off walls, stuff like that. So, it's a it's a track you got to be very, very methodical at. So I turned on my Spotify since my teammate wasn't here tonight, and just kind of listened to some rock and ran a good race and tried to stay focused.
Man, I love it. We've really loved seeing you excel here in the final portion of the regular season. We're looking forward to hopefully seeing you in the playoffs, man. I wish you were kind of a championship driver able to participate in the playoffs. Are we still going to see you for the remaining 6 races of the season?
Yeah, definitely plan to be here. Just kind of, getting to know everyone else in the league, and hopefully this propels the 2026 season that starts, I think, in March or late February, or whatever it is. Just hopefully that'll kind of this season, the rest of the season will kind of help springboard me to next season, and I can go battle for a championship.
Man, we're looking forward to watching that season as well. And maybe we even call it. We hope so. We love to call the races that all you guys do, and you're awesome at what you do, and we can't wait to see what those future seasons look like. So we'll see you the rest of the regular season or the rest of the playoffs, I guess. Before we let you go celebrate this inaugural victory, you got any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the top three, Christian and Johnny. They ran one heck of a race. Kept me on my toes the whole time. You guys for seriously a killer broadcast. I love going back and watching them on Friday mornings at work. Casey for his job in the media, doing all the race reports, stuff like that. Like I said last week in my interview, like that's the stuff that makes these kind of leagues fun. Is it's not just a race; it's all the other stuff, right? So glad to be a part of it. Shout out to everyone that's involved with it. And then shout out to Lambda AI. If you ever need AI compute, hit up lambda.ai.
Awesome, man. Well, you didn't need AI to get the job done tonight. You were fast out there regardless. We'll look forward to seeing you next week when the playoffs kick off at Miami. We'll know you'll be up front and one to watch. Enjoy the rest of your night, Adam. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and look at the rest of the running order tonight. We heard from your top three drivers. We'll look at where the rest of them finished. Travis Bieber with a 4th place finish tonight, marking his best finish of the season. Brock Whiteman fast all night long. We saw him racing hard every single one of those 150 laps. He finishes 5th. Donnie Honeycutt, Honeynut as they call him, points leader, one to watch for the championship. In the 6-race playoffs, he finished 6th tonight. Jacob Cochran fought back from a lot of adversity, had trouble later on in the race, and probably didn't have the finish to show for the speed he had. With 7th, Andy Berry, guys, shout out to the number 21 for talk about fighting through adversity. Should have added him to the driver of the race, Paul, but he fights back to an 8th place finish. Brandon Vees had speed but got in trouble early. He finishes 9th. Tyler Gebbin, we saw him run in the top 5 in his inaugural race here for NSRLA. He finishes 10th.
As we look at the rest of the field, the 11 through 20 finishers right here, Dustin Lewis is going to bring it home in 11th. You saw right there the speed that he had at the end of the race. If it wouldn't have been for that fuel issue that he had, I have no doubt that we would have seen him probably battling it out for the win tonight because he was very, very fast. Jerry Salinas is going to bring it home in the 12th position. Bradley Miner, one of those bubble drivers, is going to finish in 13th. Mark Cofield between he and Michael Cole, and we'll have to wait for the official word after all the points have been calculated to see how that all shakes out. Michael Cole came into this race, guys, 2 points ahead of Bradley Miner. So yeah, we'll have to see how all that transpires here over the next couple days when we get the official point calculations after stage points have been accumulated and added up. Ryan Bittler is going to finish in the 16th position. Stephen Gill going to bring it home in 17th. We saw Corey Rout have trouble early in the race. Unfortunately, he is going to finish in the 18th position tonight, rounding out the field.
It was an amazing race. Casey, final thoughts on what you saw out there tonight from a different vantage point than you're used to seeing. Up atop the booth, what'd you make of your comrades' experience in racing out there tonight from this different view?
Well, I thought they did an outstanding job at such a difficult track. They were rock stars. I was pleased to see that the race wasn't necessarily dominated by one driver. And as a fan, it's something that you love to see. That there's competition all over the racetrack, and different guys running up front, leading laps. So I think all in all, this is a really outstanding race, and I just hope everybody that was racing in it and those watching it enjoyed it. I know I had fun up here.
It was a blast to call with a whole new perspective. It was fun to hear from what you thought about a lot of these drivers. You've raced with them. We had a good time doing that. Folks in the chat, we're encouraging you to vote for your driver of the race by just typing their name into the chat. Let us know who you thought did the best job overall tonight. Producer Cam, I am curious. I think we might have time to just briefly talk about the upcoming schedule. If we might be able to go back to the studio shot, I might be able to get that up, potentially. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Yeah, Chris, any final thoughts while I'm pulling this up?
Yeah, just what a great venue for the final race of the regular season. Darlington, it never fails to disappoint. It's my favorite race to watch a race at, probably my favorite track to watch a race at, probably one of my favorite tracks to drive as well, especially to broadcast. And these drivers, man, what a heck of a job. I could think that we mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to bring it up again. The parity that we have seen this season, with all the different winners here, it's made it so much fun to broadcast. It's always fun to broadcast. But just seeing all these new different winners week in and week out, man, it has made it so much fun this season. I can't wait for the playoffs to begin.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a wild 6 races. And let's talk about the round of 12. The first 3 races, we're heading to Miami next week, Richmond, and then Talladega. Could you find 3 more different tracks, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great round when you talk about track diversity right there. You talk about another one of my favorite tracks, Ellis. I feel like we got them back-to-back, P1 and P2 right here in Darlington and Homestead, Miami. It puts on a great show. Possibilities of side-by-side racing, cars sliding around, tires wearing out. Richmond, the 3/4 mile short track. A lot of, beating and banging going on there. And then the wild card, Talladega. Are we going to see a wild card winner possibly be able to punch their ticket into the next round of the playoffs?
Casey, are you going to be racing in any of these races? Which race are you looking most forward to?
Well, I'd like to. It's like Chris was saying, diversity. Running at sunny Miami, then we're going to go run short track racing at Martinsville, and then go have some chaos at Talladega. I didn't race much in this series this year, but hopefully they'll allow me to run, and if they do, then I would like to run all 3 of them. These are some fun technical racetracks.
Man, it was fun to have you in here. I think that is probably going to do it for us tonight. Folks, we appreciate you joining in, watching this Southern 200, kind of a tradition here on Slingshot TV tonight for NSRLA. Your winner was Adam Pettit. It's going to be a playoff field. 12 drivers we're going to be talking about next week starting at Miami that are all going to have a chance to claim that championship trophy after a grueling season. Those kick off next week, folks. We do have other racing going on. On Monday, we've got the Slingshot Racing League Late Model Tour presented by Phillips Wraps and Graphics. Those races, guys, Chris, that has been an awesome race. I've really enjoyed watching those short track showdowns every single Monday night. I think that season is going to continue to get better and better. And also, the series we race in, Chris, on Wednesday nights, it's the Slingshot Racing League Grand National Series that's put on a couple great races as well. Where are we headed next week, Chris? Do you even know off the top of your head?
Yeah, so the late models are headed to South Boston. You'll be able to see that on Monday night, and man, that's a track right there, car track combination that we might see a lot of chaos there, at South Boston. And then we're gonna head in the Grand National Series on Wednesday night to New Hampshire, which is far removed from Las Vegas where we raced last night. So that's a track that I enjoy racing at myself. Gonna need to get a little bit of practice in because it's a very technical racetrack and one that requires a little bit of prep going into it. It's got some strange lines through the corners, but it's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get out there on the track and mix it up with those guys.
Well, I do actually have one story that I think is going to be worth talking about here. We are getting information from Ryan Bittler, one of the racers in this league, and he is saying that Adam Pettit is playoff eligible. I'm not sure what that means. I'm looking at the points, and I don't know. He's going to leapfrog a lot of these other drivers with that win. If I'm reading that correctly, he is in. Yeah, he is into the playoffs. So tonight's winner, Adam Pettit, could potentially be racing for a championship if this information, which we're getting, we'll be able to confirm that throughout the week, and you'll know at the start of next race in Miami if that is the case, guys. But I think that's a great cliffhanger to leave it on tonight for the Southern 200. For Slingshot TV, it's been a pleasure, guys. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith, producer Cam Gillens, and media man Casey Bristow, live from Darlington. We're headed to South Beach next week, folks. We'll look forward to it. Have a great weekend. Stay warm. Do your best to avoid that ice on the roads that might be coming to several of y'all. Have a great week, everyone. See you later.